Here I am. Today I am going to do a quick video on the wet brush. It says wet brush right on there versus the Denman brush. Also says Denman right on there. I've always used a Denman brush. I've been a loyal Denman brush user. But someone asked me the other day what's the big difference between the Denman and the wet brush, and I was like, I don't know. So I was going to try it out. So I dug through my daughter's hair basket and found this brush. It said wet brush. Later, I found this cool brush that says wet brush, and I haven't tried it yet. So that's for another experiment. I have a tangle teaser brush on the way. So I thought I'd do another one when it comes with the wet brush versus the tangle teaser for fun. But I only have 2 halves of my head, so I can only do 2 at a time. I've already done the back because you guys don't need to watch me do the back because you're not going to be seeing anything unusual. So I've done this experiment a couple days ago, and I did notice some differences. So I just wanted to go over them. Now, I've sectioned my hair. I've kind of parted it in the middle. It's as close as I'm going to get. I don't like a straight 2-part. It looks a little funky on me. So I am going to do 2 sections, 1 Denman, 1 wet brush. I have my tools, I have my supplies here. I have already put in some Curlsmith Featherlight Protein Cream. I did it right out of the shower when it was really wet, and I just used a tiny bit, so you don't need to see that. I have my Curlsmith gel that we're going to use today. Any gel would work just fine. I also have a water bottle because normally this doesn't happen, but because I'm doing a video and I talk so much, I sometimes have to kind of go in and just do a quick re-wet because it dried out while I was blabbing. There we go. So I have this sectioned, but I'm even going to section it more. I'll show you. This just needs a couple of sections, but I have such dense hair that if I try to apply my products just like this, I miss like this whole intersection just because there's so much of it there. So I'm going to tie this side off again for now, just for a moment. Actually, you know what we'll do? We're going to do both sections on the bottom at the same time. Now, it's always hard to do something showing half and half because everyone's hair, I think, has like a half that's kind of better than the other half anyways, but I really just want you to pay attention to what happens with the when it's wet, when I brush it. That's kind of what I'm just trying to show, because I think for different hair types, one might like the other better. Maybe, I don't know. So we'll find out. I'll show you. So I shake my gel because gel's a little thick, clumpy. I don't know how to say that, but it needs to be shaken and stirred. Add a little bit, and I emulsify it real good. And then I just go in and start applying. This side is wet brush. So I use the Denman, a brush, this way. I will show you both ways. This would be horizontal, the other would be vertical. So I just do this. I'm going to do this a little bit up here too because I really like to get at the root. There we go. And scrunch it. So easy, easy, easy. Now I'm going to show you the other side with the Denman. And when I really get to show you the difference will be up in here so you can really, really see. And yes, I have a color appointment on Thursday. Emulsify and apply. I don't get really in my roots. Not a fan. It's going to drive me nuts. But we'll be done with that soon enough. Denman side. I can already tell you that I can feel that the Denman pulls all the hair. Like I can feel it pulling my hair. So there's one benefit to that, if that's important to you. Now, if you have 3 and 4 type hair, I think that the pulling it, because your hair bounces back so well, would benefit you. If if you have wavy hair like mine, you may not like it pulling it. So taut, I think the word is taut. I don't think I've ever been able to use that word at any other time in my life. Taut, like where you pull it tight. Maybe someone, an English teacher, can help me out here. So, all right, I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to do this whole next section because I'm going to show you here how to do it vertically. It's just a personal preference. I usually just do it horizontally, but I'll show you why I do it vertically in this top crown section sometimes. I keep seeing the reflection of that picture in the back and think I'm missing a hair. See, that's gonna drive me nuts. All right, so I've got all my product in here. I'm going to show you the vertical trick. So, and then I'm going to show you really the difference between the Denman and the wet brush when we get right here. But I just wanted to show you, this is vertically. My hair grows towards my face, so I kind of do this way. You could, of course, probably train your hair if you wanted the curl to go this direction, but I try to just go with my natural direction, which is towards my face. I'm leaving this section out because we are going to do this one and this one really like all up in my face. So I just really want to show that difference. All right, get some gel in here. This is kind of my trouble section, so I always add a little tiny bit more gel. Just this is my frizzy, not controllable. I have a really bad scar right here on my head, so that section I always kind of have to finger curl because it grew in kind of straight. So again, we're going to do vertically, but I just want you guys to really watch how this Denman just pulls that out straight. I mean, it really, I mean, it's like harder to get through. Does that make sense? And I scrunch. There we go. Again, I think if you had type 3A to 4C hair, whatever, kinky, curly, tight coils, this would probably be something you like a little bit better. Now, I always do something different in my front section. This is where I use my Denman to do my coil, so I'm going to show you how I typically do that, and I'm also going to do it on this side, but I want to have the same amount of hair. I think we're good. So, I'll show you how I do my little twist. Just this front section, I just like a little extra curl. So I do this. There you go. Okay, so scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. Yes, Sawyer. See, I'm home alone. All right, so wet brush. You ready? I really want you to watch the difference. So watch that. And then I'm going to do this one. This one pulls it tighter. You see that? Let's see if I am coordinated enough. I don't think so, but I'm going to try to do them at the same time. This goes on there. Look at me. Talented. Ready? So I'm pulling them, and that one's not even in the brush, but this one is much tighter than this one. That was really hard to show. But now, if I'm going to redo this, but I just want to show you if you think it curls the same. So here's the same way. Shake, scrunch. Okay? You see that? Same way. Shake, scrunch. Now, here's those sections again. It looks very similar. This one feels like a tighter clump a little bit. You can kind of see that. It's a little tighter, but that would just depend on preference. So what I'm trying to do is show you, definitely try both, depending on your preference. But we all know I like my little curl in the front, so I wanted to know if I could do it with this. And sure enough, it works well enough. Now this side, it will definitely be tighter, you'll see. Definitely works better with the Denman to do a tighter curl. See, with this, I can really get it really tight if I wanted to, see? Because it just grips it better. But again, this is all personal preference. See how those two? This wet brush can't grip it quite as tight. So I am going to now micro plop. This is my normal, typical routine. I'm just trying to do everything the same as I normally do. And then I'm going to diffuse, and then we'll come back and look at results and see what we think. I did this experiment a couple of days ago, and I thought that they were so similar that I wouldn't have like a, oh, this is way better. So I'm just showing the difference. So I'll be back. I'm back. Hair is dry, I diffused today. So, not a huge difference. I mean, there's really not a big difference. I will say that if you look at this side, the Denman side, the curls appear to be more pulled out, a little bit looser than this side. You can kind of see that, maybe, slight difference. And that is because I'm a wavy. So when I'm doing this video, I want to keep reminding everyone that I don't have a preference. You know, I can't say this one's better than this one because I am a wavy, and I think what happens is this pulls tighter and it doesn't bounce back like someone with 4A hair. It might come right back and be this beautiful defined curl. Mine just pulls it out and it stretches it and it doesn't go back. So just to reiterate, my preference is my personal preference. Don't forget, everyone's hair is different. So now we're going to break the cast. There isn't much of a cast there, which is what I love about Curlsmith. I am using my Bearded 101 oil. Go ahead and judge, but you'll see why. Very thin. Love that. Rub it all over the hands, all over the hands. And then I'm going to just start crunching and clap. And we'll see if there's any difference after it's scrunched out. I got kids in the house. This is the real deal. You don't get any realer than coming to my YouTube channel. I have fruit snacks sitting here just in case he comes down and needs one. Alright. Okay. So here we go. Both sides. Just going to show real quick before I fluff. I mean, I don't know if you guys see any difference. I don't have a preference. I don't have, oh, I love this side. Just trying to show that possibly if you are a wavy, the wet brush might work just as well as a Denman. Maybe even better if you like it. Now, I'm going to fluff my roots, but I wanted to just make sure we got a good visual before I go in and mess it all up. So here we go. This is where all the magic happens. Now, I did part my hair kind of in the middle. This is, I have a pretty big cowlick right there, so there's no breaking that up. But this is where all my magic happens with my volume. Is I massage my scalp. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. So, we're just going to go in and massage the scalp and get as much volume as we can get for me parting it in the middle. I don't like to have any producty feel at all in my roots. I do this until any feeling of any product is gone from my roots. Scrunch this way. You can see that shine it gives. I love my beard oil. Okay, I love my husband's beard oil. Alright, back to this part where it was, so that you guys can see after the fluff, if you see any difference that is something you prefer, like better than the other side, you can always try. I actually am going to say I prefer the wet brush side. Just a personal preference. Like whatever you want. Remember, I would love to hear from someone who has curlier hair, especially the fours, what their preference is. That middle part is going to drive me nuts today. We're just going to stop touching it. Oh my gosh. Swear. And just go with it. Thank you, everyone, for tolerating that banging noise, and I apologize. Have a wonderful day. And next one will be this one, wet brush, versus the Tangle Teaser. So subscribe and we'll do that one next.